All right, Lucas, welcome to the first episode of the Biblical Way movement. You are our first guest. Welcome, brother.
Yeah, thanks for the hospitality and what an honor to be first person on the podcast. It's probably gonna be fun. I have a gut feeling that probably both you and me, Casper, will look back at this in a couple of years and be like,
I hope
"Oh,
so.
what a journey since then."
I hope so. Yeah, I hope there's going to be a lot more guests and different people of different backgrounds and stuff. But you're our first guest, and first of all, maybe for the people who might not know you or might not know what you do or whatever, can you explain a little bit what you do and what your background is?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Lucas. I'm from Stockholm, Sweden, and what I do, yeah, I'm a performance and health and fitness coach. I guess that's what I do for a living, but obviously that's not always been the case. So in my I'll tell my story. I'll try to speed ramp it a bit because otherwise we're gonna be here for too long. But growing up, I've always been into sports, just playing football, skiing, even motocross. What else have we done? I've probably tried most sports, as most young childs do. But the sports that I really fell for, I think, was football or soccer and skiing. So that was kind of what I stuck to. Been pretty active throughout my whole upbringing, but then entered into kind of the universe, or not university. We have this thing in Sweden called the gymnasium, which is basically, I guess, high school is the English word.
Hmm.
Started partying a lot, started going out, and kind of completely let my health go, to be honest.
Hmm.
So fell into all the bad habits. Also ended up in a very like bad place, I would say. Looking back at it right now, I felt very, very depressed. I had no purpose, no drive whatsoever, and yeah, no sense, or almost no drive left to live life. And
Hmm.
somewhere along those lines or those days, I stumbled across, the gym.
Hmm.
It's actually, I can tell you exactly when everything shifted. Me and my friends were out and playing football summer day, early summer 2021, when one of my friends, he had been locked in throughout the whole C word lockdown, going to the gym, eating clean, and it was a warm day. Everyone took their shirt off. Obviously, I was kind of skinny fat, a bit, yeah, not looking the healthiest. And he had been dialed in. I remember I was like, holy, is that what can happen in a year if you lock
Hmm.
in? And
Yeah.
on that pitch, on that day, I signed up to the gym for the first time. No trial period or anything like this. I was like, okay, I do 1 year on the spot, and that same day was also the first time I ever stepped into the gym, which is
Wow.
pretty crazy. Fast forward, just diving into everything health, really finding my passion and interest for that, and yeah, just for my own sake, wanting to take everything to the next level, just diving into all the optimization protocols, figuring
Nice.
out things, trying things, and seeing
Hmm.
what works, and then ended up kind of helping people do the same thing. So yeah.
Love that. Yeah, it's a really really nice story. I guess everyone starts somewhere, and I guess you have a very. I mean, you started from literally nothing. You were skinny fat, like you said, and then you just came into health, and everything changed. So this podcast, for the people who don't know, is like a. Our mission is pretty much to make health and wellness like holistically, mostly accessible for everyone. I guess no matter how you look, how you talk, everyone around the world deserves good health. I guess, and it's nowadays it's seen as a privilege, but I guess it shouldn't be a privilege to be healthy. Whether it's simple health or more, more, the red light and stuff, and all these different types of things. But I guess health starts very simple, and you can build it out from there, no matter where you are or where you live. Also, I would say, since you made the switch from fitness to more like real in depth health, what was that? You sort of already talked about it. What was that switch for you? When did you see, okay, well, the normal fitness sort of like health advice, it doesn't work. It's not good.
So I started like this. My initial goal with getting into the gym was I want to do a bodybuilding competition.
Mm.
That was the one thing that I put my eyes towards. It was like, I'm gonna do a bodybuilding competition. And naturally, I started taking advice from all the roided up bodybuilders. This is how you should be training. This is how you should be eating a lot of chicken and rice and broccoli and protein powders and pre-workouts and being pushed all these products and whatnot. And sure, I got some results,
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
But I also found myself in a state where it's like, okay, on paper, I'm doing everything right. At least this is what I thought, this was my belief. But I don't really think that I'm actually feeling that good. Like, is this actually the peak? This can't be it. Like, in some way, shape, or form, I must be able to find myself in a reality where I feel better in my day-to-day life than this right here.
Yeah.
And I actually stumbled across a article
Mm.
that went into detail on how your serotonin, 90% of your body's serotonin, which is the happy hormone, is
Mm.
being produced in the gut, which then made everything make sense for me, because I'm like, okay. And then it was something along the lines of processed food and whatnot. It's like putting all these processed food, all these chemicals into my gut is what makes it so, or it is what limits my body's ability to produce serotonin. This was my kind of first realization, and that opened everything for me. Because after that point, I started to clean up the diet. I started to cut out all these processed bullshit things that we don't need, and instantly started to feel way, way better. And after that, naturally, I was like, okay, now we're talking. Now we're
Yeah.
on the right path. What else is there to uncover and to discover, and what else of the standard advice is, you know, bullshit that
Yeah.
we should be yeah, I guess figuring out what the actual truth is in that case. So that was the turning point for me.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, what you said, when people look at your Instagram or your videos, you really go against like the traditional fitness industry, like the protein powders, like you said, and all these different things. And me, to be honest, as well, I was like very into that stuff. But then when I got more into health, I saw that shit was like literally killing your body slowly. So I guess that is okay. And then the switch, because then you started making a switch. But when did you start kind of getting into, or how did you sort of like got into holistic health? Because there's this very big controversy almost with the things you preach. It's like, oh, this guy, I'm gymming and I'm benching 130 kgs, and I feel. But what is the difference between someone who maybe trains less, right? But is way more ripped and has way more better gut health in this case than someone who trains like 6, 7 times a week and is very strong in the gym? What would you say to that person who's saying what Lucas is saying? It's just BS, straight up BS, sort of, if you know what I mean.
Muscles doesn't equal health.
Hmm.
That's the first like thing, and I guess that's the problem that most of these like gym guys that are listening to all the bodybuilders, like that's the belief that they have. Oh, as long as you're big, I should listen to you because you know what you're talking about. It's like, yeah, sure, but at the end of the day, muscle doesn't equal health
No.
at all. And
No.
for me, I guess I just flipped the switch internally and my goal setting as well, because I was obviously, as I just told, I had the initial goal of, okay, I want to do a bodybuilding competition, but then it's like, okay, to be honest, I don't even care how I look. I just want to feel good. So that was the internal shift that I made. So I was like, okay, looks aside, I don't care. I don't want to get bigger. I just want to feel amazing. And that was the
Mm.
variable that then pushed me into doing more research and understanding things. And then at the end of the day, most of the things is just, when you look at it and actually understands, it's just common sense. Take this
Yeah.
example, as we're I talked to a client about this earlier. It's like digestion. Okay, we know that what we eat matters, but it's not just what you put into your body. It's actually what you absorb that is going to matter the most. Because if the things that you're eating just rinsing straight through you, it doesn't matter. You can be eating shit, you can be eating the best food, it doesn't matter, right?
Mm.
If you're super, super stressed and you're in a sympathetic nervous system state and you're trying to eat food, it doesn't matter how clean it is, it's just going to rinse straight through you, right? How can we make sure that we're actually digesting what we're eating? Well, we want to be calm, we want to be relaxed, we want to be in a parasympathetic state. Perfect. Now your body's ability to digest the food is going to be completely different. And then you take one of these gym cells guys, "Oh, I have to slam down the protein shake directly after the workout." When you're stressed, when you're in this sympathetic state, processed food, that's just inflammation from the garbage you're putting into your body, and even more inflammation from not being in a calm, relaxed state and even
Yeah.
able to digest the food. It's like, how could you ever think that that's a good way of doing things?
Yeah, no, true. I mean, people don't understand. I guess, like you said, it's more, and this is something you actually told me, and something I'm still learning today, is it's don't focus on like a lot of this is just a different thing, but don't focus on the results a lot as well. A lot of people focus on the muscle gain. A lot of people focus on getting as big as possible, but then their gut health and their hormones and everything else is just wrecked up pretty much. I would say focus more, like you said, always focus more on the input. So focus on high quality. I think you said this as well. Focus on, like, for example, if you had the choice between 100 grams of protein from like a clean sourced protein source compared to like protein bars and like protein powders, you would definitely 100% say the 100 grams like clean protein all the time, right?
Always.
So it's all about the input. It's all about what you put in your body. And also something interesting for the people who are listening. I used to think that meat is meat. So grass fed, all of those things were like bullshit. But I saw like this video of you actually, and you said like it's people say you are what you eat, but you said something like you are what you eat eats or something, right?
Yeah.
It's all about it's all about the source, where it comes from, and then what you put in your body. That just makes a whole difference, I guess, for the people who are listening as well. Um, so that's definitely really interesting. One more question I have for you is: you work with a lot of people who are busy, but why doesn't like why what would you say to someone who's really busy and they're entrepreneurs and they're working all the time, they don't have time for like 2 3 or even 6 times a week? What would one type of advice you would give to really busy CEOs or people who work like really busy jobs or whatever? What would your number one advice be to those people?
Shift your focus, get results. Everyone is always so fixated about the gym. If we talk about like health and results, it's always like, oh, training, like training. That's the one thing that you focus. Oh, how many times you're training, which is the complete opposite of where the focus should be at, because the focus is, once again, it should be at like, how can I just tweak the smallest things in my day-to-day, in my lifestyle, to make sure that my body is actually functioning and optimized from a biology perspective, rather than a just like effort and training perspective. So most people would benefit drastically by just shifting their grind culture focus to
Yeah,
precision and focusing on the root cause, rather than the surface level things that doesn't matter if the roots or if the foundational layers aren't in place either way.
yeah,
That's probably the one thing that I would tell, that probably everyone can benefit from. Shift your focus, get
yeah.
results.
It's all about the focus and the inputs, and then the rest will follow pretty much. And
100%.
also, you talk a lot about sunlight and grounding and all of these different sort of like controversial things these days. People think it's all bullshit and it's all like this weird stuff. But what are like the real health benefits of like grounding and getting sunlight for your circadian rhythm, for deeper sleep, all of these things? Like, what is the real benefit of connecting with nature again? Because we lost contact with nature nowadays a lot, I would say.
it, First of all, I don't think you even can put together a list of all the
Mm.
benefits that comes, because there's too many, and there's too many ways that is gonna, or too many positive spirals that is gonna happen from it, that you can't even map it out, you know.
Yeah,
So that's how I first of all see it. But then we have some things that are, if we talk proven, which is decreasing inflammation and improving blood circulation, all these things, right?
yeah,
The thing here that I would just also, when people say to me like, I don't believe in that stuff, okay,
mm,
good.
yeah,
I don't care what a piece of paper says. I don't care what a study says. I don't care what you present to me at all. I have inside information from all the clients that I've ever been working out or working with, seeing live in person what happens to their data, to their recovery, to their HRV, to their sleep quality by implementing the things that I tell them to do.
Bro,
You can't give me any piece of paper that would like state this is not true. I don't care. I tell them to do things, they get results. I don't need anything else.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, your clients get crazy results. If you go to like Lucas's Instagram, like if you just scroll through like the progress photos, like you see some random guy who just came in, he had like a little bit of muscle, and then 4 months later, different person. It's like crazy what the coaching does. So definitely recommend to check Lucas out as well on Instagram because the results are crazy as well. Um, Also, a very big important thing, I guess, with this whole fitness and nutrition and stuff is mindset. It all comes down to what your mindset is. How would you say that mindset sort of like influences your physical health, your spiritual health, your mental health, even your financial health? What is the core function of mindset, and what would be a good mindset to start off with for people who are listening who are just starting out with fitness and all these different health stuff?
It's a very good point, Casper, and I love that you're asking because this is the foundation for everything in life. We have a good example of this where you can take you can take one person. I usually tell this to my clients as well. It's like you can take one person that I give the best of the best workout plan to. I give the absolute perfect supplement protocol and perfect nutrition plan and perfect daily routine, but they have the shittiest mindset. They
Yeah,
blame everything on everything around them. They take no ownership and accountability over themselves and whatever.
yeah,
It doesn't matter how good plan that person has in place or how good of a roadmap and blueprint that person has. You compare that then to person B, which has ChatGPT made training plan, ChatGPT made nutrition plan, no context whatsoever, but has the
yeah,
best mindset you could ever think of. 11 times out of 10, the person with a shitty plan is going to get better results than the person with the perfect plan.
yeah,
And why that is because your identity and your mindset is what creates the results in your inner world, which is then going to be the reflection of the outer world. Because we have this massive power in our universe where we can, I shape my own reality, and
yeah,
it starts here.
yeah,
You can have a bad thing happening to you, but it's you that decides if that's a bad or a good thing. This also comes down to another example that I usually mention is like one day I had this awakening or whatever. It was like, I'm just going to be so positive with absolutely everything from this point on. The day after, I broke my ankle. I know I've told you this before, Casper. And I was
yeah,
like, okay, this is God, the universe, whoever is putting me to a test right now, because literally yesterday I was like, I'm gonna be positive with no matter what happens to me from now going forward. And instead of viewing that as this is something bad, I was like, okay, let's see this from a positive perspective. I'm not aware of the potential things that could have happened if I didn't experience this. So let's say I was gonna go for a run tomorrow. Maybe I would have been hit by a car, and this broken
yeah,
ankle saved my life.
yeah,
And that's the story that I then start to tell myself, and therefore I'm grateful for this thing. And then you have
yeah,
someone else that is completely just negative and why is this happening, this and that. You shape your own reality.
mm,
So everything starts with mindset, everything starts with identity, and like gratitude and positivity, and just how you view your inner world, which then in turn going to reflect your outer world.
yeah. I guess that, like you said, the power of speaking things into reality is something I've been looking into like a lot right now recently. I guess even as since this is originally like a Christian podcast, even as Christians, like there's this stigma in the Christian world or industry, whatever you want to call it, and they say, oh, manifestation. It's not like, but it is not necessarily me sitting down on like a yoga mat and start meditating for like 40 minutes and then just say I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow and it's going to happen. No, that's not what it means. It means, I think, just believing so drastically that something is going to happen, right? Especially with getting to your fitness goals as well. It's going to happen eventually if you put in the work. People forget, oh, right now I want to be a millionaire, so I'm going to say in a couple months I'm a millionaire, it's going to happen. No, you have to put in the actual work, and you have to trust the process in order for that to happen. So I guess, like you said, mindset connects very well with that. Your ankle, you broke your ankle. Most people would say, personally, I probably would say that as well. Maybe a little negative of like, life hates me, and I'll never be good enough, and now I can't do my. But you had a very positive mindset, and see where you are now, right? So everything just it's all about mindset. It all connects very, very into mindset, I would say. Um, yeah. So another question I would have is, and this it ties very good well, is if there's someone right now listening and they don't do anything with fitness or whatever, if they could do three simple things right now, three simple steps or whatever process to improve their health holistically, what three simple steps or advice would you give them right now? What would you tell them?
Clean up your nutrition.
Hmm.
If there is a boardroom of people behind what you're about to put into your mouth, it's not food, it's a product. So that's a very simple framework to go based on. Is this food or is it a product? If it's a product, you shouldn't eat it. If it's food, you can eat it. Super simple. Number two, reconnect with nature. The more time you can spend in nature, whether that be grounded, just being out walking in the nature, being out in the sun, the better, right? The more the better. But reconnect with nature. Number three, prioritize your sleep over anything, because that's the foundation to everything in life as well. So having good sleep is going to support literally every single thing in your body. So that's the three most important takeaways someone that is listening to this should take away. Eat food, not products. Connect with nature and sleep good.
Yeah, yeah, those are great. Those are, I guess, those are things I'm still working on today myself as well. Just sometimes you see these nice things in the store when you're walking in the supermarket. You think to yourself, one more cookie or one more, but it's hard. It's not as easy as said as done, of course. But I guess it takes time for anyone listening as well. Just build up slowly. Like, for example, Atomic Habits, a very good book. He says like build up step by step, and then just it
Agree.
doesn't don't go all in immediately, because you're going to burn out eventually. So you just build up very slowly but steadily with your eating habits, with your fitness habits, and just sort of like go from there. Um, sort of like after everything we talked about fitness, food, reconnecting with nature, mindset, hormones, whatever. What does real health mean to you today? In one or two sentences, what does it mean?
Enjoying your day-to-day life.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
the manifestation of true health from the inside. It's enjoying your day-to-day life. That's how I could summarize it the best into one sentence.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess what you told me as well is I still struggle with that sometimes. I sent you, I think actually a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago, a message of like, I give you an example of like, for example, tonight I have this, let's say, family party or something. And I have my evening routine at like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. And should I just tell my family I'm gonna go home because I'm gonna, I have my evening routine at like 11 p.m. I guess it's all about the balance as well. I guess it's about, okay, sometimes you have a wedding, sometimes you have a party somewhere. Are you literally going to say like, okay, I got to be in bed at 11 p.m. and then just, it's all about enjoying life as well, but having the right structure and systems in the back end to sort of support that sort of lifestyle, right? So I guess it's all about your approach and about when it comes back to mindset, just enjoying life while still being healthy. That's what it's all about, I guess, right?
And focusing
Um,
on the positives there as well. Like if we take that example that you just mentioned, Casper, is like, okay, you could be focusing on the negatives of, oh, not going to be able to have my dialed in night routine that I usually do or whatever. But okay, why are we even focusing on that? Let's focus on the positives, which is on spending time with family, which is very, very important for our nervous system. So like shifting the focus always to just how can I always view things from a positive lens rather than a negative lens. If there's one more thing I'd add on to the other threes, it would be that, like, just have a, literally, your life is gonna 10x from you just being positive towards everything in life. It's that simple.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess like you said, we really got disconnected nowadays. Of everyone is behind their phones all day, even when eating, and we're working on our laptops all day, and everyone is just disconnected for some reason. And I guess hopefully for someone listening, it's the first podcast, and it's not going to be much people listening, of course, but hopefully, like you said, in a couple years we can look back and people really just give them simple health advice. I hope this podcast just inspires people to just live healthier lives. It's that simple. And we really got disconnected. I see it myself when sometimes I'm scrolling and I'm like 2 hours further. I'm thinking like, what happened? Where's my time gone? I wanted to do this, or I wanted to work out, and I just scrolled instead. So we really got disconnected. Um, for the people who are listening as well, where can they find you? They can find you on Instagram, of course, but you also have a YouTube, right, where you give like longer form explanation videos and like all kinds of health advice and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's just at Lucas Hedenbeck on Instagram, and then you can just search Lucas Hedenbeck on YouTube as well. As Casper just said there on YouTube, I obviously you can only get in so much information into a short little reel when people's attention
Yeah,
spans aren't the best as well. But over at YouTube, I do some more in-depth guides on everything that I talk about and I preach. And so if you want the real deal and the deeper understanding to everything, it's definitely there. You should be heading.
definitely, definitely check it out. Definitely recommend it. I still check your videos out. It's a lot of value for free, so that's very good. What I want to do these type of episodes, since this is the first episode, it's our first time, but I always want to sort of, since it's of course a originally Christian podcast, I want to end every episode with the guest with a Bible verse I want to give, and then a quick prayer. Would you be open for that prayer, if that's okay?
Of course, Casper. Shoot.
Good. So I was thinking of a verse. What could I do in this episode? And I was thinking of 1 Corinthians 6:19-20, which says, "Do you not know that your bodies are temples?" And this is something that doesn't even apply to anyone being like Christian. Our bodies are temples, so we got to treat it right. Like it's a very famous saying, of course, um, of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God. You are not your own, and you were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. So I guess this verse is probably the most famous verse in the Christian fitness industry. They say, don't put garbage in your body because it's a temple, right? And you got to treat temples right. You got to keep them clean, keep them beautiful, and keep them healthy in this case. Um, yes, I want to end, if that's okay, with a quick prayer. It's like 1 minute or not even 1 minute.
Of
So
course.
I'm just going to close my eyes in this case and going to pray. Father, thank you so much for this great conversation with Lucas. It's such an honor to have him as my first guest, and I'm so grateful for our interesting conversation. We talked about a lot of different topics when it comes to health, which I think, like I talked about, is very important because your temple is what we own. This is our body, and it's your temple. Father, thank you, and I pray that you will this podcast will reach the right people and the right group of people who really need to hear this. They can use Lucas's advice that they heard in this podcast, but also on his YouTube channel and his Instagram. There's a lot of other value that they can use in order to optimize their health. And I pray that in Jesus' name, amen. Brother Lucas, it was such a great conversation. I'm so grateful for having you on this podcast. And to everyone listening, I hope this conversation reminds you that health doesn't have to be complicated or exclusive, because health is accessible for everyone. It's just about your approach, your mindset, and whatever you do, and your input, of course. So thank you so much for having us. And this is the Biblical Way movement, and it was the first podcast. See you guys in the next one.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.